we're the United. I'm Trevor Merrills, the Assistant General Secretary of the United Cabbies Group. This is Lee Osborne, a committee member of the United Cabbies Group. And the UCG have called a demonstration seeking a statutory public inquiry into TfL. TfL's failings as a regulator. TfL failing the London public. London has the pollution levels of over 7 times what the EU say are accepted levels. Londoners are put at risk. London women are being victims of sexual assaults. We've asked TfL for these figures, TfL won't release them. London taxpayers are wasting money. TfL are made up of people from boards of the bus companies. The bus companies that we as a London taxpayers subsidise every bus on the road, £200 per day. Look at the congestion in London, it's killing our kids. Look at the state of London, look at the corruption in London when you look at this Garden Bridge, and all we're saying is that this is now gone beyond a joke. TfL, you're wasting your time talking to TfL or the GLA, you've got to go above them and you've got to ask central government to launch an inquiry. You cannot ask the Mayor because the Mayor is the chair of TfL, and that is the fact, and he would hardly be impartial. This is unfortunate that we've had to do this. We apologise to the public, but no one, we have talked as a trade, no one has listened to us. We've been left with no other alternative, and now we've decided in the UCG we're no longer interested in talking to TfL or the GLA. We'll go about. We've heard what the monkey says. We now want to know what the organ grinder's got to say.
Yeah, and do you agree that you're living on broken promises at the moment?
Oh,
absolutely. We have done from the start, but we've now exhausted every possible avenue. We've given them every opportunity to make these changes, and nothing's happening. So, we don't want to inconvenience the public, but we're left with no choice, and we're here today because this is our voice. We've got no other way of getting our voice across.
We're fighting for the trade, and the trade doesn't need a sympathetic smile and a false handshake. It needs more than that, because we can all pay lip service, and we put no faith into what they've got to say, because the evidence is there. How many more times do we have to keep being told, don't worry, let's leave it 6 months, let's leave it 9 months? Well, we haven't got 6 months, we haven't got 9 months. As a son, as a brother, as a father to a daughter, no woman should be going in London, the greatest city in the world, and having the sort of threats at her own and going. 263 in the last 6 months. That is not a bad statistic, that is a disgraceful statistic, and every single one of them who are responsible for that should hang their head in shame. Should hang their head in shame.
Let's not forget that there's over 100 members of staff at TfL that are on over £100,000 a year. We're all suffering. Everybody's suffering. We're suffering through health reasons, because of pollution, wealth reasons because TfL have flooded the whole market with hundreds of thousands of minicab drivers as well. London is failing. London's failing as a city, as one of the major cities in the world. It's failing, and it's all down to TfL.
The greatest city in the world.
Failing. Absolutely.
And how do you feel about the PH and the taxis not being, what's the word for it? Split up into...
Well, how would you feel? Because we all know that, no one's perfect, and we have got some bad apples. But let me tell you, because they always throw one name at us, and that name is Mr. Warboys. But that's because they can name one person in 360 years, whereas I could give you 35 in the last month. But let me tell you about Mr. Warboys. Shall we?
Yep, go on.
When the police certainly told us that there is one of our own for doing what he's doing, it was our trade that turned him in. Our trade. That's what this trade is about. So how do we feel? To be lumbered in with a load of predators, sexual perverts. How do I feel? I feel absolutely disgusted. As someone who spent 3 years of their life doing the knowledge to be highly trained, how do I feel when I can see that someone who hasn't got a clue the difference between one-way streets? How do I feel? I feel disgusted. And in closing, if you look, and this is important as well, and it's a favourite one of Lee's, and I'm going to steal it. That guy that he tried to kill people at Leytonstone Station. He's got a tragic illness. He's got a tragic illness. He's a schizophrenic, and that is nothing, and I feel very, very sorry for him. But he hasn't just had that. He's had that for years. He's been sectioned. and yet TfL licensed him to be dealing with the public.
He spent 3 months in the Royal Free Hospital diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, yet TfL have either seen fit to license him, or he's gone through one of these dodgy doctors that the Sun exposed a couple of weeks ago, and he's got a £50 sign-off from his doctor, and he's driving vulnerable members of the public around. How many more are out there? How many more are driving for Uber or driving for private hire? That's the question. Yet TfL have tried to brush this under the carpet.
Yeah.
There should be a full investigation into their licensing process. Not just on medicals, which is important, but on the topographical tests, which they all took, and I think it was 70% that were recalled to retake them, failed them. TfL has outsourced so much stuff to other companies, and they failed massively, and they're failing London, and they're failing the safety of Londoners and women in particular.
And can someone explain to me, because I was naive enough to think that TfL was like a government body, but yet they're a for-profit company registered in Guernsey. Can someone explain what they're doing with as a London taxpayer, what they're doing with my money, and they're doing it in offshore tax avoidance in Guernsey? Because when you get to the bottom of that, you'll get to the bottom of how rotten TfL really is. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.